Deepthi Sachdeva with you, and yes, this is a top focus story that we are getting to you more details of. In its mouthpiece, remember, the CPM now is accusing the army chief and also the present government of politicizing everything that's happening in Kashmir. And viewers, you would recall there is a pattern to why we are talking of that story. Not very long ago, the CPM General Secretary in the state of Kerala, Kodiyari Balakrishnan, remember, had put out an anti-army rant. And did we hear any condemnation coming in from the top brass of the left? The answer is no. And look at what is happening now. This is Prakash Karat, and we are quoting from an article that he has actually written. And he says, and I quote, "Unfortunately, the army chief is reflecting the needs there of the views of the Narendra Modi government." So if there was any doubt that this is all political, ladies and gentlemen, the doubts perhaps should rest. Because this is why we believed here at Republic Television that this is the reason why the CPM top brass was rather quiet when we heard that very strong and abominable comment coming in from Kodiyari Balakrishnan. Our executive editor Abhishek Kapoor with us now on the phone line to take that story ahead. And Abhishek, doesn't that one line tell us why we are looking at rants like this without even a single condemnation coming in from the left? Because the left already has made this political.
Well, it seems being done in coordination. First, Partha Chatterjee writes an article compromising the stand of the army, and now we have Prakash Karat, former chief of CPM, directly accusing the army chief, General Bipin Rawat, of almost playing politics or taking a political line in Kashmir. Now, that's as uncalled for, as unjustified, as unfair a statement that can be made on the Indian army in a battle situation, in a war situation that it is. A proxy war that the Indian army is fighting. And in that situation, this seems a very deliberate attempt at demoralizing the forces or trying to put a wedge in the coordinated effort that is going on between various agencies, various security forces, as also between the state and the central government in Kashmir to really quell the violence orchestrated from across the border. We really as yet don't know how come this kind of irresponsible comment has come from such a senior leader of the Communist Party. But it seems that blinded by opposition to the present establishment, the politicians are really not concerned about the long-term objectives
Abhishek, stay with me. Let's get the very first response now of the BJP to that remark coming in from Prakash Karat. Abhishek, we have GVL Narasimha Rao who joins us on the phone line. Now, GVL, what would you want to say? We were long wondering why is the left not coming out and condemning the likes of Kodiyari Balakrishnan, and here perhaps is the answer. Because the top brass here actually believes that the army is picking up your instructions. They have actually made this entire matter political, GVL.
It's highly unbecoming of the left parties, particularly the CPM, to indulge in this kind of negative campaign against the Indian army, and I will accuse the CPM of becoming a China-Pakistan mouthpiece in trying to really not corner Pakistan on its excesses and not shaming separatists, rather standing up with them and attacking the Indian army. This is certainly, I would accuse the communist parties of adopting this agenda to serve as mouthpiece of China and Pakistan. I think the people like Partha, they represent the same leftist mindset.
GVL, now there is a line that I'm quoting from this article. It says, and I quote, "Unfortunately, the army chief is reflecting the views of the Modi government, which seeks to suppress the people of Kashmir who are voicing their political protest through the sole reliance on use of force." So what is Mr. Prakash Karat, GVL, wanting to do here?
No, they certainly, because it's within the country, the CPM has to do politics here. So rather than use exactly the same language of Partha, the left parties are trying to blame the Modi government, but their real attack is against the army. I think Indian army certainly functions within the ambit of the government. Unlike in the Pakistan, here army functions, but then the armed forces function in a professional manner. They do not act as partisan elements. So, politicizing the army is something that opposition is doing in its desperation to attack the Modi government. And we certainly accuse these parties of resorting to this kind of tactics where they are hurting the national interest and national security for their short-term political considerations.
And GVL, even as I speak to you, we put out excerpts of that entire article now that is up on our screens, first here on Republic Television, which the viewers are able to actually get an insight of. But GVL, why? Why should you have an Indian political party batting for the, states like Pakistan? That is a question that, goes out. ये किसकी वफादारी कर रहे हैं? Why should Prakash Karat then give us lessons on how the army should behave? And also, why is he pointing fingers at the current Narendra Modi government, saying that it's the government of the day that is using the army for its own political gains, GVL?
I think the real intent, as I gather from talking to several people interested who are involved in this, the national security and these international relations, is because a lot of this talk emanating from the left parties, their indulgence of the separatists and their support to these militants and the stone pelters is primarily a result of CPM and left parties' tacit support to the China and Pakistan and their CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. The CPM is actually acting as a front. I think it's not new in this country. People have seen how the communists had sided with China even at the time when we fought war against China. So certainly, we will certainly accuse them today of pandering to these anti-national sentiments. And this is clearly against the interest of India, a country where they practice politics and then they are represented in parliament. I think this is certainly a very, very highly reprehensible behavior from any political party that considers itself responsible.
Now, GVL, those are strong words. You say that this is reprehensible behavior, but I also want to ask you one thing. Why is there this sense going out that the current government perhaps is not in the hold of things? The current government perhaps is not in hold of things because they do not know how to deal with the Kashmir situation. Why has that perception, amplified? Because it's not just the left, we've heard strong words coming in earlier from the Congress, GVL, who essentially said that this is a government who doesn't know how to deal with Pakistan. The very reason why, such kind of voices, perhaps, GVL, could be gaining traction. Is that a criticism that you buy?
I think far from it. I think the fact that this government has handled the situation in a manner that ought to have been the manner for the last 7 decades in this country. I think it is this new approach that is making them jittery. The communists, the Congress, which have allowed this problem to fester for decades, which have allowed separatists to be treated as sarkari damads, and have given them all kinds of tacit and overt support. It is because this government is holding a mirror to these people, bringing them to book for their acts of omission and commission, that these parties like the Congress and Communists and even the National Conference, they find it completely difficult to really digest the new dynamism. I think
GVL, before I let you go, would you want an apology? Will the BJP say that we need an unconditional apology now from the left?
I think the people of India will teach them a lesson. I don't think an apology they would never give, and it's a waste of time. The people of the country know that these parties, for their own cynical political considerations, are acting against national interests, and they are trying to damage the reputation of their own army, which is considered the most professional army in the world. So it's certainly, the people will teach them a befitting lesson at a time appropriate.